This week's Retail Week is brought to you by Avail, Phosphorus Fertilizer Enhancer. Never stop pushing. Well, welcome back. Paul Schrimpf again here with Eric Sfiligoj from your friends at Crop Life Magazine. It was an interesting morning for me. I had two sick members of my family. Both simultaneously got stomach flu, so it made for some interesting calisthenics to get here this morning. But fortunately, everything's kind of settled down, and I think we're ready to go. Last week was we had speculated on the Ag Secretary and thought we might have something by now, but apparently we're still premature.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. As of January 10th, when we're actually filming this, we still do not have an Ag Secretary named, and I know several names have been dropped out there. Sonny Perdue seems to be the most common mention of a potential Ag Secretary from the Trump administration, but just some interesting tidbit here, Paul. The prior Ag Secretaries were all named usually by mid-December of the prior year of the incoming administration. So at this point, Donald Trump is way behind the curve. The latest an Ag Secretary's ever been named was Christmas Eve back in 1992 by Bill Clinton. So interesting.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what it says. I don't think you can take anything from it. I suppose just this has been such a disjointed process in terms of when people were named, and the procedure's been kind of bucked all along the line. I saw a note from Senator Grassley about Bill Northey, who's the Iowa Ag Secretary. One of the few folks I kind of know through the channel. He's a great guy. I think he'd be outstanding. He's well respected, but I'm sure probably a dark horse at this point. But let's hope we get something named soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's interesting, Paul. We actually did a story in our e-newsletter where we polled our readership to see what they thought of the potential Ag Secretary names that have been floated out there thus far. And believe it or not, Sonny Perdue came in second place with 27% of the vote. 60% of our readers thought it would be, quote, someone else. So,
yeah, you never know. It's been full of surprises. We'll be right back after this.
There are no marks of conflict lining this landscape. No echoes of economic hardship. Just the unmistakable murmur of Mother Nature's hand. In the perennial quest to outperform, ensure your crop gets the nutrients it craves with Avail Phosphorus Fertilizer Enhancer. Nothing helps protect your investment more, so you can grow confidently no matter what comes your way. Avail. Hold your ground.
All right, we have a couple of other bits of news today. One was that the Deere-Precision planting merger trial date was pushed back to June 5th, so we won't learn for a good while yet whether the acquisition of Precision Planting by John Deere will be seen through. They'd done the Ag Leader agreement to try to ensure that the technology was shared among more companies. Although I think there's still maybe a bit of a battle to go yet in terms of getting this thing through. We'll see what happens, but it's interesting that it got pushed back a little bit farther and more due diligence needs to be done. So, yeah, interesting. So, you got one more for us?
Yeah, talking about the future, looking a little further forward. I know folks last couple of years have lamented the fact that we do not have more herbicide choices out there with different modes of action. But I actually read this week that the folks at Syngenta and DuPont jointly have filed a patent for a new herbicide chemistry class, and they are doing some pre-trial work on that right now. And the anticipation is, if everything goes well, we'll maybe see some new products coming out by 2023.
Interesting. Well, we need some hope because there's going to continue to be weed battles to be fought.
Amen.
Products needed. Well, that's it for this edition of Crop Life Retail Week. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. Thank you to this week's video sponsor, Avail Phosphorus Fertilizer Enhancer from Verdesian Life Sciences.